welcome back to Oakley Hour and day 15 of our build of the Holo Magic City. So this is how we've got on so far, and I'm hoping today will be the last day for this build. So everything's in place. This is nice and stabilized. Actually quite happy with how this comes out. I think I should go around this edge with a pen and marker. In fact, let me do that. I'm just going to use the gold one because that's the closest I've got to the brown. The brown one that I have, and I want it quite like that. The brown one I have is too brown, and that's quite a new one. It's also very painty compared. Could have done this, I guess, in black really as well, but we have a little bit of gold going on, which I've got on the stairs. Maybe I should have used the other side of the pen. There are two sides to it. Okay. Quite happy with that. So, hold on, drop my lid. Okay, so after yesterday's catastrophe with the videoing, this wall up here was meant to be, both of them were meant to be behind that front piece, but we have finished that. We don't need to worry too much. So we are going to get on with this side. There is actually a lot of stuff on my desk right now to hopefully get this finished today, including the wiring, and there are a lot of wires. So that is the plan of action, is to try and get that done. So first of all, I'm going to get right into it. There's a couple of things that I missed as far as stickers and things go. So there are two stickers here. One which will go like a little newspaper thing on here, and the other one, if I get any out, looks like the nozzle needs doing, is a little sticker that's going to go at the top here. This stuff's a bit dusty. So let's see, let's try and make sure that's up the right way. No idea what it's talking about. It's the Daily Something is the name of the newspaper. And then this one up here. And we are going to go straight in to putting these walls together on the top here. And use up some more of our small pieces. So let me get things to hand. So first of all, we are going to use actually this piece and this one. So this piece and that one are the first two going to go in. So this is our crosswalk one, so it's going to go here, and I'm going to lean it there for a second, and this one is here, and this is going to have a lot of the wires going across it. Just trying to see which way around it is. So this one does go on the inside of here. It's kind of difficult because I don't want to put everything down. I don't want the same problem I had the day before yesterday. But I don't think we're going to have a choice. And then we're going to be running wires down this little hole straight into the battery box from the other lights which are going in. But one step at a time. So there's a little bit of wood glue on there that can just sit there a second. And then this one is easier because it's got the these parts here to lean against. And I want some down here. We're also going to be putting some other parts as a bridge between the two. So something like so. So the door for this is just accessible. Okay, that will stand like so. Try and get it as square as possible. Oops. Don't remove it. Want to make sure that it's definitely in front of that hole for the wires to go down. Okay, a bit more push. Little push, little push. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to put one more wall in before we start putting things inside. At this point they want you to start putting things inside, but I think I'm going to need to put this one in anyway, and I think that just goes on the edge like so as well. Let me just check that. Actually, it's not that one. It is actually this one, which also needed a piece that I had not done. So let me get that. I have a lot of pieces on my desk right now. Oh, I put it somewhere safe. There we go. Has a little window for the outside of it, and that's going to go along here. So I'm just going to use a bit of wood glue, got it out anyway, to put this window on. Just a little bit, and that just outlines it here. And then some wood glue, because we need this one in first so that we can do the wiring, deal with the wiring, which we will be doing in a moment. And the way it's successful is not exactly easy, although we could technically, how do I want to do this? I could use Bondic, but I think I'm just going to use a bit of tape and pop it up there. Tape's been working quite well for me. I did manage to get those wires from the inside that drop down. I did manage to get some tape on them to hold them up, so you know, not perfect, but it was okay. So you want your wires running on the outer edge of here. Window just fell out. Of course it did. It was wet. Why would it not? Oh, got a dog hair in there too. Lucky me. Just to the pinnacle of this piece of wood. Let me try and get that in shot then. And I'm just going to cut the tape a little. Maybe a bit more in. I think I went a bit too close to the edge. But I think the only thing that's going to join this top part is actually the roof. Gosh. Start again. Smaller pieces of tape would be better, right? Why don't we just do that? So just have it going up here to the corner. If I can. All fingers and thumbs today, I tell you. Can't get things in position. That's not a good start, is it? Okay. Another small piece, and we'll put that window back in a second. This tape won't be as good by the time I've finished at this rate. And just to the top. I mean, Bondic would work as well, but what we're doing, I'm just going to cut this, hopefully without cutting the wire, to size, and not have it in front of the window. Probably should use my smaller, more precise scissors really. Gosh. Should start this video again, huh? Put the tape out of the way and it came back and got me. Alright, scissors. Let's get the little ones. So after putting all this glue on, I'm actually not going to be using it. I've had a change of heart. We'll do that in a moment though. So remember this one that we did. Well, we need this wire to be like this and going along the bottom of it. So that's just going to sit on top, I believe. Yes. So it's going to sit on top, so it's going to be really wobbly right now. But I'm going to put it there so that we can get this wire sorted. And this I probably will use Bonding for. And I might even go over the other one yet. So just have that into the corner like so. Give that a few minutes. I use super glue, make it speedy, she says. It's not going to want to stay, is it? I have an awful lot left in my super glue. Let's move the whole bottle out of the way. Maybe it's because my hands are too wobbly to hold something in place, and that's why it doesn't work very well. Okay. I was so excited I got it right. Okay. Okay, let me use something else. I'm going to use some tacky and wait. So you see the principle of what I'm trying to do. I'm going to use some tacky, going to get this back on, and then I'm going to run the wire along here, but I want this secured in first. Okay, I got that off camera just balancing basically. So what we're going to do while that's doing its thing is put the stuff in that side, which is going to take some tacky. And it's kind of weird how this works. So the wires are going to go down here, and they are going to get hidden with sorry, put my lids on here. They are going to get hidden with furniture and stuff, but nevertheless, in the meantime, what we have going in here is we have a suitcase. Let me just see which one it is. It is one of these with the handles on, so we're going to have that in there. We are also having a book. I can find it. Should have a spare book somewhere. We're going to need this that's sitting on the floor. We will need, I believe, this. Just checking if we do. Actually, no, we don't. Don't need the fireplace either. We can do this with this little creature. And inside is going to be a little table. What else is going on here? I thought there was a book other than the tiny book. I do have a tiny book. I guess it's the tiny book then. I thought it was another one. But that's what I have. Is that the only things on here? Let's say there's something else. No, I think that's it. And then what will happen in the corner is will be our fireplace, and that's just going to hide the up the other way for starters. It's going to hide the wiring coming down into the hole, but we're not putting that on for a bit. Okay, so let's see if I can have a look at what we are doing. So a suitcase towards the back, so it could fall down the stairs. We all know how this goes. And the table's in the middle. A book is on the floor. If you don't want to put a book in, I can understand this. And the drinks are there. So let's get that going. So this is upright. This, out of all the rooms we do, is probably the sparsest. It's the more sparse than any of the others, however that wording goes. And a book, and this is the only book. I'm just going to double check my tray of tiny pieces, but yes, this is the only book that I have left, and I really didn't think it was this tiny one that was going in there, but that's what we have. So that's what we're going to put here. I think they're probably was another one. I've maybe moved it on somewhere, but this tiny one only gets dumped on the floor outside anyway, so it's not a big deal. Then we are going to, and I will try super glue one more time. We're going to put this sign over the across here, so you can see across here, along with, I think it's meant to be a pigeon. Whoops, let me throw it at you. I couldn't swear what it is really. Anyway, I think it's meant to be a pigeon. And in some ways I wish I'd done that sign before I had it up, but I didn't notice. So this pigeon sits kind of like that, and our sign goes just around here. So something like so. Let me hold that for a moment. And then we are ready to put the rest of the walls in, or at least this wall, which is the one I am waiting on for the roof parts to do the wiring, and then we will put this one in last. This wall here we'll put in last, and then that will be this room done. That is all. See what I mean by being sparse? That's all that's going in here, up here. What waste! And this one could have had so much more in there. Could have made it so much more interesting, right? But they didn't. So, and then this one, like I say, will go up here. All right, I will come back when that other thing has set, and we can at least maneuver the wires to an extent. Okay, let's give this Bondic a try. So it's not totally set, definitely not set, but it might be enough to Bondic it in. Carefully. The other wire. And that might help it to set, and then when we get it on here, it's going to have a better platform. It's just a very difficult angle. Okay, it's off now. Okay, alright, stay off for a second then. Let's have this upside down. I'm just gonna, I don't know if you've ever used Bondic or not, it's like a mini welder, which holds together with a UV light. When I can get the weld out, I do have spare. If it runs out, and then just use your UV to seal it in place. Doesn't take long. It's actually almost quicker than super glue. And then I'm going to put another one right here because I want it to go around the light. And then I'm going to pick up the other wire, and we're going to have them both welded all the way to the other side. We get this piece in, and get this roof on. In theory, it should work. Don't hold your breath, but in theory, it should. Oh, that one didn't take. Probably moved it too soon. Okay, put a bit more on there. It does dry a nasty yellow colour though. I don't think it's a great colour for it. You could almost probably hide it behind one of the edges, maybe, but the problem with that, one way or another, it's going to get seen, I think. I'm just going to run it along here, put a piece here. but it would have a bigger surface area if you did it on the side. Okay, and a bit here. A second or two. And one more at the end, or close to the end, because we don't want it fully at the end because this is going to go down the wall. Oops. So knock it over. Not the easiest thing, even if you were taping it, I couldn't see it being easy. It's not having my gum on there. I'm sure that's not healthy for you. It's probably not enough now. And we get this in, get the other wall in, and leave it all to take its time. Actually, before we put the other wall in, we're going to need to do these wires anyway. Okay, so that's bonding in. So let's get some glue going. This over here. I'll make our model back in. One here. And down here again. I'm just going to hopefully take it as one piece. I'll just put it across. I think this actually goes on the inside. Yeah, this one goes on the inside. And it's a bit higher than this piece too. Unlike this one, the slant goes down more. Come on, wood glue, you can make it. Okay. Right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to put it on here, put it back on here, and hopefully it will have a bit more that it can stay in balance of it. Good that you're seeing that then. So we go on something like so. And put our picture on the wall. Hey, get back up. Probably should have used tacky actually. Would have been a bit quicker to have taken on a piece like this. And the stuff that was underneath the tape, this wire here, over there, is not there anymore. It's come out the tape. We'll sort that afterwards. Let's give this a moment. Okay, I'm going to get some tacky on top of here because I can see the wood glue's already dried up. You might want to do super glue. I mean, your super glue abilities. You might be more friendly with super glue than I am. Seems that I have a diversion with it. Like it hates me. Like things like that have a personality. Who's to say, right? How do we know? We can be like what science tells us. Well, that's probably true. Okay, and I'm going to leave that like that for a while. I got an appointment anyway, so I'm going to leave it like it for a moment. And by the time I come back from my appointment, we should all be good. And your view of this is going to be from here, really. You might, I mean, you're not going to see those wires. We'll poke them down anyway. This one just does not want to stay on top. That's better. Okay. Happy with that-ish. This wall doesn't want to stay together either. Alright. So I'm going to give this a few minutes. And I'm a bit concerned about this one being over and this one being the opposite way. But I guess there's going to be a gap there anyway, isn't there? No, there's not. Oh, it does marry up, you know. Huh, how weird. Just weird that this one's on the outside and the others are on the inside. But that is the way it looks, I think. Very difficult to tell, guys, I have to be honest. Once this is on, it will make life a lot easier. So I think what I'm going to do is pop a bit of masking tape on this wall particularly to hold it in. Just press on a little bit of it so I don't rip anything. And I think that will be okay. And then we will run this wire down and through the hole and we can place this before we put the final wall on. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit, a second for you. Alright, so I'm back. This had plenty of time to take. The tape didn't work on this piece, so I'll probably just take this off actually. Oh, I knocked off a pillar, what do you know. You don't get too frazzled about that sort of thing, right? You knock it with your hand and it goes, pops off. It probably wasn't overly strong. Right. If I can get the tape up, I will take it off. It wasn't enough to hold in the tape, but it's... Right, okay, so now what we're going to do is run these wires down here. You can get out for a moment. And I'm going to get the Bondic to do that as well. Then we're putting our final wall. There's certain things that I just don't know where to place. Like, I can't remember seeing where the... Oh, this one actually came off. Where the cloak goes. I just don't recall seeing it going anywhere. So this is the difference in the instructions. So at the beginning, like every little thing that we made gave you all the part details. You could pull the parts and you knew exactly what you were going to have. With this, they show you the room. Pretty much that's it, really. I mean, they kind of give some part numbers, some not so much, that type of thing. So that's there. I'm gonna get some of these going into these holes so that we can attach them. Right, let me get that done rather than taking your time to get them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into this little hole down here and catch them from the bottom, which is right by that unit at the bottom. So it's going to be interesting, and then I'm going to carry on doing the Bondic down this side. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. Okay, and those are done, and what I also did was put a bit of Bondic on this one. So I'm going to pop these wires through, then we get the unit in, and then this last wall. And that's that bit done. Probably should have done that before I came back, huh? They're actually going pretty easy. It's just a matter of catching them on the other side. And even then, these wires are incredibly long. We're going to have to shorten them before we wire them all up. But that is what we will do, I think, next. We'll get these in. Put this, put that in, and then we get that wall in and make sure I know which wires they are. because we're going to have to pull them tight once this is on. So this is for the wires which are already in. I'm not even sure you're seeing any of that. So we're going to put this unit in. There it comes. And that should go around those wires nicely. I mended my spire while I was out doing the stuff. And then that can go in there and around the wires. And in fact this one is going to be, I welded it too high up. I forgot about the unit. Okay, let's get some wood glue on the end here. And I can't remember if it was sitting on the inside or outside. We will find out in a moment. And then I'll put that unit back up. It's sitting on the outside. Okay, so just get some glue on your wood here. Get that sitting there. I'm going to have to turn this to me, guys. Okay, and that is the wall put on with the wire behind that unit back there. And now we can play with all these wires, and there are a lot of them. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you know I used wire nuts because I'm not very good at turning all the wires around. So what you want to do is get all our greys together, and there's quite a lot of them. So these are going to need shortening. I can see that right now. So we're going to need to shorten them, give them all ends, like open the wires for all of them. Where you've got the right length, just take off the coverings if they've still got them. That's fine. I've got a couple of really short wires. It's okay, we can work with short wires. So all I'm doing is getting all the greys and the whites sorted and getting them at a length which is alright to use, because you don't want them as long as this. That's ridiculous. And I know we're all afraid to cut the wires. I used to be too. So I'm just going to cut these here, and these ones here as well. If you want to keep hold of these wires, it's not such a bad thing. Sometimes you need an extension, and it makes it very handy to have the wires in case you do a build ever and you find that the wires are just too short. And then we're going to get all the ends. Let me come back to you once I've got all of those ready to go, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, once you've got all the greys together, and remember there are one grey and one white one which is incredibly short, then give them a little twist, then join up your black wire. I had to think, yeah, because white's been going with red, and this one needs a little bit more on the end, so I'm just gonna give that. So some people don't use at all, they just do it with their nail. I don't. And just make sure that the black one particularly is all the way around. And then if you're using tape, you will take this up, and they do provide tape with the kit. And if you're using wire nuts, there's a little hole in the bottom there, and you just want to make sure that all your wires go in there, and then you keep twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting until you can no longer twist. Keep going, and then when you think you're good enough, give it another couple of twists. Like, I mean, I can pull on these gently, and they seem to be in there, but it's still allowing me to turn, in which case it's not quite tight enough. Okay, And that's all our grey wires. Now we've done the grey, we can tidy up the white ones a bit so that we have them maybe not necessarily so tangled in with the grey. Just to tidy it up, no real reason. They're very tangled in, aren't they? But I'm just going to try and do that. And I'm going to join up the white ones exactly the same way, but with the red wire. So, see, this one's coming out. This is the short one, in which case we're going to have to start again. Take that off, make sure that the short one's in there, and in there well, and try it again. I knew those short ones would be a pain. Anyway, I'm going to do the same with the white wires. I'm just going to tidy it up a bit, separate them out from the grey a bit. Just makes it a bit easier that if you do have a short, you can hopefully eliminate what might be causing it. And like I say, it is a tight fit with that particular wire. Like this one is, the white one's going to be the same thing. Okay, I'll leave that with me. Not even sure what that was. Alright, and I will get both of them done. Okay, so moment of truth, right? So let's see. Okay, we have lights. So I think we are all working. I'm not letting up lights going on everywhere. The bedside one's working over there. Only one that I'm not seeing from the outside is this one, and that's because I can see it from this side, which is very unhelpful. So I think I might take this off and just turn it around and do it that way. So bear with me. Okay, obviously it's not set, but it's on there. Let's see if we get a bit better now. Now at least we get light. It's not central whatsoever, but at least we get some light from it. Interesting though. So it only shines from that side, so it's obviously, I don't know. Anyway, that's still very wet. So the lights work. So give them a test. You can see in here too. And we have working lights. So let's see if we can finish this today. There is a lot more to do, but we tested the lights, and that's a really big thing. Okay, so I'm disappointed, but I've looked at the times that we've got, and I think we're not going to get this finished there. I think it's going to be tomorrow. However, we will crack on and do. I've done a few more pieces. I've coloured edges and done everything ready. So I think we are going to put this roof on, and there's two pieces going to go on. One which has an indentation, and one which is flat. So the indentation one goes this side here. So let me just move all this over, and the other one will go this side. So let's start with the straightforward one here. So, oh yes, like I was saying, as much as I thought I was going to be able to finish, I looking at all the bits, I don't think I am. I think it'd make it for a very long video. So everything's dry. I've actually left that quite a while. So I'm just going to kind of do what I did to this front side here, which you can't see down here. Just put a bit on the end and a bit on the top here. And this one, of course, has the bar already going across. So I guess we'll put a bit on there too, so it helps it. I'm just going to use a bit of tacky. It's nice not having to have the board down in reality. Okay, let's see what we got going. I think it goes on all the edges, it does. And I'm wearing the glue, and I've got black on me from all the edging that I did. I did lots of edging. So let me hold those to task for a moment. Of course, directly I started recording again, the other dogs came home, so I had to stop directly I started. Oh, we know how this goes. So you want it, I mean, it should be flush with the front and the back, so both this side and that side, it should be as flush as you can get. Using tacky, so it shouldn't take long to take, she says. Still waiting for it to have something. Doesn't even look like there's enough glue on this side. That side looks, the one closest to you looks a bit better. This side doesn't look good at all. And we're going to put ends on here, so we want it to be quite flat if we can. So I'm going to put more on here. And I think when I do the other one in a moment, I will just put glue on the wood. Makes more sense. And this one's obviously going to be quite a bit different. So I'm going to just run a bead of glue across here. I'll wash my hands. Don't really need it on the side. Of course, I didn't put it on the sides of the paper. I put it on the side of the paper, which of course it wouldn't stick to anything because it sits on top. Right. Put the lid on this because we're probably not going to see that for much now. And pop this one in here. And although I cut it to the right size, there is actually quite a gap at the bottom here, both sides. So there's more of a gap down here than I thought there was going to be, and I didn't paint that edge. I don't think we're going to see it much though. I want the wires underneath there, so let me get some of this glue off, poke this wire down. Underneath you go. Might even put a tiny bit of super glue just there to stop it riding up again and showing itself. Because wires have quite a bit of pressure on them really, against cardboard anyway. Nothing else is going to go on this roof, so I think a tiny bit of super glue right here would probably be a good idea. Like so. There we go. Hold that for 10 seconds, we'll move on. So my aim is to do the balcony at the front there that you can see, and also put the ends on these windows. I'm stuck to it, of course. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that's had a second, and now what we're going to do is put these on the front like so. So let me start with the back. So I just had a text about that I have a penalty notice, evidently from the government, is letting me know I have a penalty notice for parking on my car, and I have to pay it by tomorrow, by the way. And of course this is, you know, we know this is a scam already, but they sent me 4 texts in a minute saying the same thing. If nothing else read as a spam, I would go with that being one of them. I just think it's so, they must be very special. Okay, I probably shouldn't have used wood glue for this, by the way, because it's going to take too long to hold. Never thought that through. Nevertheless, it looks good. Let's get tacky on this one. And I did colour in the edges of these, by the way, as I did all the pieces that I've put out now to do. I had got everything out, but I can see I wouldn't have enough time. And some things I just don't know where they go, by the way. I mean, I looked and looked and I can't see. So obviously making some of those little pieces that we did wasn't quite so important. It could have been. This is looking really hot though, isn't it? As a model goes, it is really looking good. And it's a shame about some of the things, but it's like my stickers, but yours might be fine, and it's a shame really about these directions in this part. But overall, I think we are looking splendid. Okay, this one I put tacky glue on so it'll be a bit quicker. Oh, as I pop that one out. I will go and have a look at it in a sec. Okay, this one needs to go up a bit more. I'll show you while I sort out the other one. It's a bit low down, not quite over enough. You said just show more on this one. It's actually like it's almost not quite central. I'm sure it's me. Our colour, there's a little edge on here. I'll show you in a sec. When I stop touching it to move it, oh my goodness, what am I like? I worry about myself sometimes. Okay, so you can see on this one there's a little edge showing on there. But I will just put a bit of colour on there. Just put a bit of black, probably be fine. Okay, and this one I'm okay with. Right, next we are going to deal with this little area, and then we will call it a day. Oh, and these two. Where? Oh, there's the other one. Okay, maybe we'll do those next actually. So these fit in. Which way are they going? Ooh, let me try and find a picture somewhere along the line. Okay, so it goes from this angle down to this one, and it's going to be quite the tight fit, guys, like that. And we have two of them, so I won't use wood glue. I'm even tempted to use a little bit of super glue for this. Let's see. One in at the front here. I'm going to use super glue. As long as I can hold my hands still long enough, we should be okay. So what we want is it to be higher on this one piece than the other one. So do it so that it's got some pressure. Something like so would work. I think we will. It was fine until I moved. I think we put a bat on as well. Okay, and then we have another one to put in, which will just go this side of it, so behind the sign here. See if I can get the same heights that they're matching. What I've done is I've taken it to almost the roof line there. I also knock that off. Guess we'll fix that then. Okay, let's get this one. There's a super glue on it. And we will get this one going in as well. So it's almost roof to roof. Go in a bit more. Just because I put my hand on that roof part when I was trying to get it in. The other one in. Oh, it's tight fit. Oh, tight fit. Now I've moved that out too. Go back on you go. Right, let's sort this out without touching too much else. This can now be super glued because, you know, it's misbehaved, and when they get misbehaved they get super glued in. I can't really see how even that is, like it's not even at all. And while we're here, I will put a bat in. And try not to attach myself to it. Downside of super glue, right? Something like so. It's not perfect for sure. And I had the bat. I have another one. I will grab another one. I do have it though. It's just moved like it does. And then we go on and do that last wall. And we'll call it for today, and we will be able to finish tomorrow for sure. I don't even think tomorrow will necessarily be a short video either, by the way. Right, and we have a little bat here. It's probably why I can't see it, because it's black on black, and I'm just going to attach it to the end there. You can put it really where you want. Maybe I'll have it on the pinnacle, actually. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Do that. Hold that in place. Okay, a bit longer. Me and super glue love each other. Wow. Does not understand. I can't hold things for that long. Okay. This rate, it'll be leave it with me. Could even have put it on the crossbars, couldn't I? Like over here, that would have looked pretty cool. Anyway, no one would ever want to go underneath it, and I don't know that it would be there with a cat underneath either. Alright, so let's do the walkway here. So we're going to do a balcony. This will eventually have an arch going over it. So the first piece we're going to put in is here. So when you put these bridge pieces in, and I did have to move mine, you want to make sure that it's next to the door on this side, if not both sides. But I only moved one. I moved this one back, this one here back, because otherwise you can't fit this piece. And there's two pieces like this which are the same size. So it's obvious that this is the piece that's going in. And let's put a bit on the end, which I wasn't going to do, obviously. Put a bit on both ends, actually, because the other piece is going to go over it, I think. Pretty sure. I was looking at this earlier when I was trying to weigh out what I can get done and what's going to be over. That piece is going to go over it, but it's going to be tight. Just make sure that that is. I'm glad I looked to see if it was straight. It's nowhere near straight, right? And then this one is meant to go in front of it, I think. But I think we will. Well, I guess we can do it just. It's a little bit tight there. And then put this one on, and it's going to meet up with the sign there that we have down the other end. And we'll put a bit of glue on in case on here and here. Let's go something like so. And then you want this to dry really anyway before we do the next part, because we're going to be putting a archway over it and putting some roofing on, which we will do tomorrow. So the last bit we are going to do with this is all rather cute, is our little birdhouse, which is really going in the sun. So I'm going to just make sure that the door, that is the door, yeah, is facing forward, and that goes into the corner here in front of all our posters that we did. Alright, I thought there was a picture that went here too. If I find it, I'll put one there. Even got like what looks like glue residue over. Alright, so I think we will stop here for today. Let me zoom you out a little bit, just get cleared up. I know I had that pin because I saw it drop. There it is. I will find the other bat. It's gone for a little walk, but I think that's because it's a black desk. It's just hard to see. Over that, or gone under the mouse pad. Could be either way here. Right, let me get you out a bit. Alright, and that's what we have. So I think what we will do is let's turn these lights. I've got it balanced on the Bondic box right now to try and get a bit better angle for you guys. Otherwise you're going to see it from the top only. There we go. Put the lights on too. So nicely connected and working. And you can see even the roof one now on this top one, because you couldn't see that particularly well before, works. Makes me want to even that up a bit. Had to redo these ones when I moved it to balance it. They fell off anyway, so super glue again. So now they have tacky on, much preferred, and that's what you have. So it's looking beautiful. And on the side here, you can see into the rooms beautifully. Let's see if we can get into the bedroom. So I'm thinking one of the places, and you see into that room too, one of the things that doesn't really show where it goes, or not that I could find, is the see if we can see into the bathroom from the outside world. Not so much. Anyway, one of the things that I don't think it shows me where it goes is the wizard cape thing we made, like almost at the beginning. So I think I'm going to put it on the bedpost, basically, like they're hanging it up or whatever. I will check the book again and make sure that I'm not gone crazy. But anyway, here we are. So we have got quite far. We will definitely finish tomorrow. So there's quite a bit to go still. We have to build an archway over here. We have an archway going on this one as well. Then we have all the stuff, the balcony going across here, I believe, to make that all look good, and then some bits and pieces down the bottom which won't take any time at all. So we will get to use our one left, and our other bits and pieces. I think the flowers will go on quite soon that we made at the beginning as well. So like I say, the only thing I couldn't find a spot for was the cape, really. I think the wooden owl is going to go on here, but I'm not going to do that until it's dry. So I think that's where that will go. Alrighty guys, so thank you very much. Any comments are very much appreciated. I will get back. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot, actually. And most of all, take care of yourselves. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.